today we're down in the dugout with Hunter Dobbins. Hunter, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah. Got lucky yesterday you got the start. You didn't have to start in this rain, huh?
Yeah, the rain's kind of following me around all season, so it's nice to dodge it.
Yeah, I know. We're battling some fans over there. I think it will be all right, but we'll see. Let's jump right into it. Routine of start day. What are some of the things that you're kind of doing like on your start days?
Kind of a normal one. Go grab some lunch. I like to go kind of sit down at a restaurant by myself, kind of just relax for a little bit, get a good meal.
What's the normal restaurant of choice?
I try to bounce it around a little bit.
Yep.
One I found here in Portland is the Cowbell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
people love that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome place. But so then I'll do that. I'll try to get to the field about 3.5 hours before game time. Mm-hmm. Just kind of a mixture of stuff in the training room, kind of getting the shoulder right, getting the body going, and then a little kind of activation lift in the weight room, and then get stretched and get out of here.
Mm-hmm. And another thing is the starters get to choose their hats, right?
Yes.
And so we talked about that earlier this year. You chose to go with you usually go with like it's got slugger on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one right there. Why is that the hat of choice? Anything in particular about it?
So it started off as a kind of a joke because all the guys hated it. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to make them wear it today.
Yeah.
Then I actually ended up pitching well that day. And I was like, well, now I can't change it up. So you know what, we'll just stick with it. And now it's known as the Dobbins hat. So I can't switch it up now.
Yeah, I love it. Are you somebody that's superstitious? Like we talked about your daily routine, but are you somebody that has to do like the same thing every day? I mean, obviously the hat is the same, but that's a little different.
Yeah. Yes and no. Kind of like before I get to the field, no, it doesn't have to be the same routine every day. But I will say, like, kind of if I have a good outing with my red glove, I'm going to wear it the next time. Like the other day, broke out a blue glove, and against Somerset, went 5 innings, no hits. And so I was like, you know what, next start we're going to go with the blue one again. But yeah, it's just little stuff like that.
And you talking about your performance on the field, when we spoke earlier in the year, you mentioned the splitter sort of being a big pitch for you that you were working on. You developed it from a changeup or split change. Now it's kind of a splitter, right? Yeah. So kind of talk to me about that and how that's kind of gone this year.
We actually changed it up again about 3 weeks ago. It was actually Somerset was the first time with the new one. I guess the new term of it is splinker. I'm throwing it about 88 to 91, sometimes almost 92, with a lot better movement. So that's definitely been a big swing and miss pitch over the last few weeks. And then we just switched over to a sweeper as well that's going to complement it. So it's took a big step forward.
Yeah, and in general, I mean, the heater's a big one for you too. Talk about sort of your whole pitch arsenal in general and how you're feeling about it right now.
Feeling really good. Fastball the last 3 weeks has been sitting 95 to 98. So that's taken a big velo jump. Commanding it well. The splinker, like I said, 88 to 91, really being able to get swing and miss from both sides of the plate, the hitters. Yesterday was the first day we've thrown kind of a slower sweeper, kind of 77 to 81, which is almost twice as big as my old one.
Right.
Still the big curveball, and now next week we're going to be introducing a bullet slider, which is more of a shorter, sharper slider, which is in my bullpens has been about 88.
It's a little cutter-ish.
Yeah, 88 to 90. So should have a good 5-pitch mix, and hopefully once to kind of hone those in, we'll be able to use them at the next level.
Yeah, and talk to me sort of about the difference in the pitching program from last year to this year. Obviously, it's a new regime. Were those things that were happening in years past where you were changing your arsenal kind of throughout the season, or is that something that this new development program is working on with trying to find, things that really work well?
It happened a little bit with the old front office. Their approach was more of, hey, these are things we do really well. Let's make those the best we can, and then we'll go from there. This front office has really kind of switched it up to more of, hey, with the way you throw, with the way you go about things, we see that these could be potential pitches for you. Let's try them. If not, let's go back to the drawing board. Let's continue to work on what we do well, but let's also explore and try to find some things that maybe can help boost us to the next level.
And how would you say, like, it's been adapting to this new regime of having like these new things like the bullpen sessions on the side, only making one start a week if all things go well. How has that been?
It's been a kind of an adjustment.
Yep.
Like last year, we were pretty used to getting going. You're ready to pitch every 5 days, which kind of we didn't have as many pitches in our bullpens to kind of work and develop on some stuff.
Right.
This year, my actual arsenal has actually been able to take a bigger step just because of the extra time to focus on that stuff. Yeah, I mean, I pride myself as a guy being able to go a little deeper in games, a lot of innings, but also having this time to develop the arsenal. I think it's going to be a big boost once I do make it up.
Mm-hmm. And talking just about you personally a little bit, obviously you're a Texas guy. The Sea Dogs are the most northeast team in all of the minor leagues. You spent time in the Carolinas as well with Greenville and Salem, but culturally, how is that tough for like trying to adjust from West Texas to Maine?
A little bit.
Yep.
You know, you kind of got to get used to the pace of life here. I mean, where I'm from, it's much slower, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's like we're so used to traveling at this point and being in different parts of the country, being around different types of people. You know, you just kind of roll with it. You enjoy it, and you kind of learn ways to live with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and obviously you got called up here midway last year. Greenville ended up winning the championship. That was one thing that I was curious about. Did you get a ring from Greenville winning? You did? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, everybody that was on the roster at one point.
Yep. So you just had to be on the roster at one point. Didn't have to finish it. That's pretty cool. Is that your first championship ring?
In Pro Ball, yes. But I have a Big 12 championship ring. So.
Yeah. How do those two rings compare? What's your favorite?
I will say, as of now, probably the Big 12 one, just because I was there for the full season.
Right.
You know? Like, obviously, I'm still really proud of the Greenville one, but
you got to be there to celebrate it.
Yeah. So got to celebrate those guys, but you know, I have a feeling the guys that really had to grind out the playoffs and stuff like that, they'd probably enjoy it just a little bit more.
Yeah, I hear you. And mentioning Texas Tech as well, was that always where you wanted to go, you know, being from Texas, or were there some other schools that growing up you thought you were going to land at?
There was always some other schools that were in the mix. The head coach there at Tech coached my dad at junior college, so I knew the caliber of coach I was getting was, you know, insane. The pitching coach there, I mean, I have to credit him for a lot of stuff that I have success with now today. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of, once I got to know the pitching, or the staff, the pitching coach, the facilities around there, it was kind of a no-brainer.
Yep. And football-wise, it's a good football school. Did you enjoy getting down to those games probably, or no? You didn't really? Because you are a football guy, right? Yeah. I think I was seeing on your Instagram that you used to play quarterback back in the day, right? A little bit?
Oh, yeah. I was big football. Being from Texas, it's in your blood.
Yeah, it's in your blood, right?
I mean, the atmosphere there at Tech, especially on football game days, and we also get it on baseball. It's so much fun to be around, be a part of. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I'm actually looking forward to getting back after the season and going to a few games. Yeah, because you mentioned to me earlier this season as well that's where you do your off-season training. Yes. Yep. And also talking about, you mentioned your dad. He played for, you said, the head coach at Texas Tech, and he's high school head coach now as well, right? Yes. Yeah, talk to me about like the influence that he's had on you becoming, the baseball player you are today. I mean, he's taught me everything I know. Not only mechanics and the actual baseball side, but also like how to be mentally tough, how to just kind of let it all roll off your back, go do your job, compete for the guys behind you. I mean, I definitely wouldn't be at this level if it hadn't been for him. And, I still learn from him every day. Mm-hmm. If I have a rough one, he's normally the first phone call I make to help me figure it out, and we normally have it ironed out pretty quick. Yep. And, going back to football a little bit, actually, so you were a quarterback. Being a quarterback at Texas high school has got to be a little bit of a bigger deal, right? Because, I mean, just being honest, being a high school quarterback here in Maine, you're probably still not playing college ball anywhere. But did you have any interest in trying to pursue football in college at all, or no? I did. Yeah. Football was always kind of my number one sport growing up. Mm-hmm. And I definitely had interest in trying to see what could happen until I tore my ACL my junior year. Then I was like, probably lose a step. I'm going to stick to baseball, and, obviously it's all worked out.
Yeah, probably sticking to the mound is a lot better than having to run around, get tackled.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially because those guys get awfully big and awfully fast really quick.
Yeah. Who's your favorite pro team? Obviously, there's a couple teams down there in Texas.
I'm a Chiefs fan.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom's side of the family's from Kansas. Didn't grow up, but when I got to Tech, Mahomes and everything, that connection and all that. So once I started watching the NFL, I just kind of naturally went with the Chiefs, and I'd say the last few years it's been a good decision.
Yeah, I'd say so. Mahomes was a few years before you, right?
His last year was my senior year in high school.
Right.
So he was there when I was doing the recruiting
stuff.
And stuff like
that. That's going to be pretty cool because, he wasn't the guy that he is today, but, you walk the same hallways as that guy and stuff. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. And he actually played baseball at Texas Tech, too. Yeah. And so it was I got to watch him throw in a couple games and stuff like that. Got on TV, and I'd say he's probably made the right decision with that contract he's got now. But
so.
Just watching him around there at Tech was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. And being a player from Texas, obviously Texas is a hotbed for multiple pro sports, but baseball as well. Are there any pro guys that kind of jump out to you as being kind of like role models or anything like that?
When it comes down to work ethic and the way to handle your business, Josh Young, third baseman for the Rangers.
Yep.
I was teammates with him at Tech my freshman year. That's where I really started to learn how to handle your business as a professional.
Yep.
And then he's still there in Lubbock in the off seasons as well. So I just kind of continue to grow, see how the big leaguers handle themselves in the off season, and so I'd say he's probably been a big part of learning how to handle it all.
Yeah, because you had, 1 year with him, right? At
yes.
Tech? Yeah. So, when a guy like that is playing college baseball, obviously he was a great performer there, but just in general, is it apparent, this guy's, a future big leaguer?
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, it's one of those, I think before I even got there, he had already won Big 12 Player of the Year, a couple All-Americans, so it was his junior year, we knew it was his last year there.
Yeah.
And then, just watching how, seamlessly he shifted from third base to shortstop when our shortstop went down, and it, didn't skip a beat. It's you just can see it.
Right.
And then, also, on the hitting side, it's when those guys that end up making it to the league, when they hit the ball, it just sounds different, it looks different.
Yeah.
It goes a ways.
That's what everybody says, and I've experienced it a little bit here. There's some guys on this team that when they connect with the ball, it just comes off differently off their bat, and I think that's something that you can only really get to tell from watching the game in person.
Yeah, absolutely. It's you can have two guys hit the ball at the same exit velo, same angle, and one just looks different.
Yeah,
it's just kind of
Yep.
It may be just the swing looks easier or just the ball jumps a little bit more, but there's definitely just something about it.
Mm-hmm. Was it the same for Jace, his younger brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you had 1 year with him, right? Or,
yeah.
Well, technically.
Yeah, I had 2 years, but one was a COVID year and stuff like that. So.
Yep.
So yeah, I got to be around him, and very similar thing. Two totally different style hitters.
Yeah.
I will say, but no, it was kind of the same feel about him.
Mm-hmm. And last few questions. One thing I notice is the number 42 seems to be important to you. Obviously, you wore 42. I saw when you were a quarterback in high school. That's not a very common number. 42 is in the Instagram handle. What is it about the number 42?
It all started whenever I joined my high school's football team, because I transferred over from a small private school over to a big public school, and actually watched the first football game of the year from the stands, and then I went to the coach. I was like, hey, I want to play.
Yep.
I know y'all have already started the season. He goes, you know what, we can let you be a kicker, specialty. And I was like, all right, sounds good. And I was like, I'm a baseball player. Can I wear number 42?
Yep.
Every baseball player holds that number pretty close to their heart. And he said, yeah. And then next thing I know, a few games later, I was our quarterback after a couple injuries. And so then it just kind of became a running thing. And then I got to Tech, and they asked me what numbers I wanted. I was like, I'll take 21 or 32. And next thing I know, I show up on campus and I see 42 next to my. I was like, well, all right, I guess we're rolling with this one. And it's just been kind of a fun thing ever since then.
Yeah. Sometimes just like good coincidence like that happen, right?
Yep.
And obviously, yeah, you're wearing 21 now. Is that just because it's half of 42 or?
No, 21 has always been my number.
Okay.
It was kind of the whole football thing kind of jump started the 42, but now 21 has always just been, if it's available, I try to take that one.
Yeah, I always love hearing like athletes' rationales for their numbers. Like some guys, if one's not available, they'll wear 11 because it's just 2 1s or something like that. So last question, what are some of the big things that you're working on to kind of go through the home stretch of the season?
Just kind of cleaning up some shapes, getting some consistency. I still think I have, another tick or two in the fastball. I know here soon, I think I got 2 more starts, and then I'm going to make possibly a bullpen appearance just to see if I can find it.
Yep.
But, just kind of try to clean up some things. Try to put my name in a conversation for maybe helping Boston in September. We'll see how that all shakes out. But, I'm going to try to finish strong, keep doing what I'm doing, and just be the best version of myself for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I know I said last question, but one more, because you bring up an interesting point of trying to put yourself in the conversation for the big club. As a player, when you see the major league team doing so well, is that something where it's like even more motivating, where it's like, I want to get there and I want to help this team?
Yes and no. It's like that's where the tricky side of minor league baseball comes in.
Yep.
Because it's like everybody sees the teams kind of like the A's or the teams that are that aren't in the hunt. You see a lot more promotions, a lot of like young guys coming up. But that's what I think I enjoy the most about Boston and all that is it's like the talent that's here, the talent that's in Worcester. We want to be that person that pushes this team into the playoffs, or we can help even a little bit make a run.
Yeah.
We all want to be that person. I think there's honestly a lot of guys here that could help the team this year in a playoff race. So it'll be a lot of fun to watch.
Absolutely. We'll try to stay dry for the rest of the day.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Sounds good.
This has been Down in the Dugout.